recapping moves made. So please note, on Monday, September 6th, the stock market was closed. It was a short week running to September 10th, ending. After the weekend, when you recap looking at September 13th, Monday, coming up, TGRO, they had a pretty high volume move on Friday to finish the day. They had jumped from 0001 to 0004. GARB, they had pretty good volume moving. NOHO had good volume. DRNK, they had good volume. RTON had some volume going. When we look at BSSP, I think that they're finding their bottom and they started to move and trajectory up, back upward. BLUU, they're a shell company. They had a little bit of volume, but at least they were moving. CLIS, they had a little bit of volume and they were moving. DSUS, they were holding at 0. They're kind of still holding cold. MFST, they had a little bit of volume, showing some life. SDPI, Superior Drilling, I think they're undervalued and overlooked. They're showing some volume and moving a little bit. So when we look at penny stocks and we look at longs, next Friday should be one of those where it moves back up, heading towards the September 28th. We're looking at a little bit more of getting close to that deadline, people becoming pink, more companies becoming current on the penny stocks. One of those penny stocks is TGRO. They've been showing some movement, so they might be having a pop up pretty soon. Fuel cell plug power stocks rise as Senate passes infrastructure bill. Remember, some of these stocks are looking at a 10-year. If the infrastructure bill is for 10 years, to see full fruition, you might have to hold stock for a period of time. Yeah, you can make some off the short plays, but if you're looking at a long play, these stocks could hold some value to them. Fuel Cell Energy announces third quarter results. Conference call on September 14th, 2021 on Tuesday at 10 a.m. With Fuel Cell, they're one of those stocks that I look at that as they've moved across, they've came down, they've hit a pretty good bottom. They're back up above where their bottom was, and if they hold right now, I think they're a strong buy in the zone they're in. Once they climb back up, they could definitely climb back up to a point where you could see them towards the $12 to $17 mark. Once they pass 10, they have some resistant thresholds. The bears have definitely pushed this down. If you're bullish on this stock could surpass 33 and head back up. I pointed out that on February 1st, 2021, that the stock was right at that $23 mark. We're back on May 28, 2018 it was. So they came back up on February 1st to hit that $23. They're back down now. I can see them definitely coming up and surpassing that $23 mark going into 2022. February 10th, 2021, they're at 26. So if you look at resistant thresholds, right now they're saying over $5. But if you look at between $5 and $8, they're a good play to buy into. They could definitely double up and come back up to that $15 mark at any time. This could be a 3 to 4 times play by the time 2022 is in full swing if they pass a few more bills, and depending on where they finance money into. So with the infrastructure bills, it definitely plays a key role, where if they go towards that $28 mark, you could be looking at a 5 times play if you invested in them now. With fuel cell, they definitely have that trajectory where if they keep heading and trending upward, I can definitely see them going back up above $7-8 probably in the next month or so. And by November, December, you could probably see them around that $14 mark. And then as you enter 2022, you could see them go from 14 back up to 21 and continue to climb upward. With Plug, they're another one of those where right now I think this is a good entry point. They haven't went below the $24 mark. They've been staying up above it. They slightly went underneath this 25, but they haven't went underneath the 24 for a while. So if they continue their trajectory upward, they can definitely stay between that $25 and $38 mark. And once they get through some resistance, probably once they go up to about 33 to 38 and they break that threshold, you could see them continue to climb, and they could definitely double to triple their value going into 2022, 2023. When you add inflation and just where the demand and power is, and if they tap into oxygen, they definitely have a good source. So it's all about your mindset, what you find as something that could be valuable, and what sectors you're looking at. When you look at the moon, and you look at mindset, and you go back to Plug and hydrogen, you look at Genki, you look at sources that could be used not only on Earth but towards gateway that will be built around the moon. When you look at the Artemis and you look at things that are going into the future, what's going to take us to Mars, they definitely have something that could be used not only on Earth but towards the moon. And going forward, CEI, Camber Energy, is another one on the move. They're definitely showing some growth play. If they continue on their trajectory, they can definitely surpass $2 very soon and be heading back upwards. The bears will definitely want to push this one back down, but this one, I think the bulls are going to rise this up as shorts and floats come in to play, and you look at all the people that are actually invested in key things like Viking, the link up to CEI, and these other companies. As mergers take place and unfold, you're going to see a bigger interest in CEI. They definitely have a good following. They go back many years. They have a good track record of many investors, and they've caught the eye of many people. So as CEI rises up, you can definitely see them go above $2 pretty soon. NOHO is another one. They've been on the move as they relinquish more and more information about their stock and where they're heading. You can definitely see them rise up pretty soon, and I wouldn't doubt that they go up to a 003 and continue to climb upward. On 9/3, a major gainer was IRNT. They jumped up over $12. It's one to keep in mind. They're a long hold play, but they jumped up, and I would try to catch them if they fall back down a little bit. I think that they can definitely hold into the future. When you look at Intuitive Machines, secures its lunar program with collective defense from IronNet. They're one of those plays we're looking into 2022, and definitely with cybersecurity, you're going to need it not only on Earth but in space. So they're definitely one that has a play. If you go to Business Wire and check this article out, it's a good article to read. It's worth taking 20 minutes and sitting down and reading it and maybe gaining a different perspective on the situations going on around the world. So IRNT, their market cap close to 2 billion. You could definitely see them with going into space, and once they have things launched and they're not only global but they're in the universe now, that when they have a full launch of everything, they can definitely raise that market cap and they could be that next $100 stock. So they could have a 5 times play from where they currently are. So you could see an uptrend with WTII as well. Looking at water and capture, they're definitely one that can hit the oil fields and hit many different market industries. So plug and fuel cell, they're definitely two of the top ones that they continue to grow daily. They continue to have volume turning over, and they have a steady volume, and they're pretty close to matching a lot of days. So the next level for 2022, it's all about the what ifs. But even if the infrastructure is spread out over 10 years, you're going to have some of these companies catching stuff every 10 years. So when it comes to plug and fuel cell, I'm bullish, as well as Eagle. Eagle is with shipping. Shipping is going to be needed, not only in our seas, but to space. But when you look at Eagle shipping and dry bulk, they're definitely one of those that they're back above the pre-2020 dips. As you look at them, they definitely have a trajectory going upward. And I could see this stock definitely going back over $100 as you enter 2022 and going and looking at 2022 to 2024. They could definitely have a rise with inflation if shipping gets hit where shipping demands increase and goods are less. They could definitely be playing for more money on their shipping, and depending on what shipping costs are, that all comes back to what we pay for our goods on a daily basis. So shipping is definitely a key sector to look at. So when you look at sectors in shipping, I think Eagle is one of the number one to look at. If you look at their pandemic low, they've definitely shot up. So if you invested in them early, you definitely got in at the right time. I wouldn't see them coming back down to that mark again. So I think right now, if you look at that $44 mark, that would probably be the low. But looking at them $44 to $55 is probably a good time to buy into them. We're going into 2022 to 2023. You're definitely going to see a pretty good gain on them. They're definitely not going to fall off too much. They have good reportings. So on longs, Solar Edge Technologies, SEDG, it's worth doing some information and due diligence and do some research on them. NEE, Next Air Energy, they're another one on my map that I think they have good things going for them, and they could continue to go upward. They've kind of been a stalemate for a minute. TWOH, they're one to check out. With two hands, they definitely have a good Q10. So when you look at forums and you look at quarters, they have good quarterly reportings where they're showing revenue growth. Experienced traders, DUDD, some of these stocks, when I look at on my list going into this next week, from Apple to Plug, Space, Northrop Grumman, SEDG, Solar Edge Technologies, Repay Holding, Raytheon Technologies, RTX, Ping Identity Holding, Amazon, Centerpoint Energy is another one, CNP, worth doing some information on. ENPH is another one to get into and check out. Another one with looking at shipping oil and stuff. TNK, TK Tankers, the NAT, Nordic American Tankers, they're another one. They both have new vessels. They both did some major restructuring and stuff through the pandemic. Clearwater Paper, so CLW, look at things they use on the daily and that might go up. Orion Energy, they're definitely another one. Alpha Pro Technology, APT, TDY, Vaxart, VXRT, PayPal, CPRX, IBM, SWI with SolarWinds. When you look at some of these going into Monday, now might be the time to buy when some of these are low before they start to shoot back up. Make sure you do your research, see if they're at their low, and as they're at their lower peaks, this might be the time to buy in if you're interested in some of these companies. Thanks for watching. Make sure you do your research. And another one, when I went to this list, when I looked at lows, I could definitely come down, and I looked at Microsoft, Northern LifeLock, AstraZeneca, Sun Power Corp, Co-Diagnostics, Fuel Cell, MRVL, SLQT, Select Quote is another one that I was checking out. When you get over here and you look at Smile Direct is one with a short play. They're short float. They're one of the most shorted companies with 32.88%. If you look at that, the short play float might push this stock back up. So I wanted to throw this in here where if they rise up, they could definitely push themselves back up real quick from $5.15 to $7. This might be one to jump into if you're looking at long plays. This definitely has that growth where you could see 3 times to 4 times its growth going into 2022, 2023. So thanks for watching. Make sure you do your research.